Hello and welcome to this session dedicated to AI for automotive. We already know that Renault is undergoing a profound structural pivotal moving from a traditional car maker to a mobility technology company. And over the next 25 minutes, we will explore the why, the how, and the bold next steps of this AI-driven transformation. And let's start by looking at the foundation of this pivot. Pierre Houles, you are Deputy CIO at Renault Group. And to begin, what is the strategic why driving the pivot to mobility products?
Thank you. So I think with my colleague, we are very, I would say, happy to be part of this big transformation because you know that automakers are and automotive industry is maybe the most impacted industry for 10 years now. So starting with the vehicle itself, the fact that we are going to EV vehicle, the fact that we are putting more and more software within the vehicle with the software-defined vehicle, the fact that now we have some, I would say, a good level of solution in terms of entertainment, bringing new services into, I would say, the car. This is the major switch of I would say, of the vehicle first. Then, the way we are building vehicles as an automaker is also changing a lot. If you take the whole value chain, all what we call the métiers, the function of the group, there are a lot of disruptions there. So, for instance, when you are doing the design of the car with the Gen AI solution, when you are doing, the simulation for the engineering, when you are manufacturing the car, when you are doing the supply chain, the logistic, a little bit everywhere on the value chain there is some disruption. So, very exciting. And last but not least, I think the switch also of the usage of the mobility, it's something that is just in front of us. But people are not so interested now to be the owner of the car. They want to be more, I would say, using mobility services. So those are also very big shifts that are in front of us. But once again, a lot of opportunity to make great things.
Thank you, Pierre. And Jean-François Tarabbia, you are member of the executive board of Aumovio, that maybe you will present, and head of architecture and network solution. And for you, what operational process scales transversal AI adoption across the entire company today?
Yeah, so thank you to give me this opportunity to explain Aumovio, because a lot of people knew Continental Automotive. The new name of Continental Automotive is Aumovio. We made a spin-off in September, and that's the new name. So we deliver, and to answer to the question, we need to understand that we deliver a solution system to the OEMs, like Renault, based on electronics system and software. It's a large company and doing complex systems. So AI makes really sense. And we have two types of usage of AI. One is obviously in our products, that we use AI technology to enhance the performance of our products. And one of the famous examples is autonomous driving. Without AI, we would not have the performance we do have today. So, but not only in autonomous driving, more and more features are using this AI technology for the performance, and we'll have this everywhere. But the second usage is, or type of usage, is using AI technology for everything we do. And from sales, marketing, communication, research and development, manufacturing, controlling, everywhere. And the purpose is to do better, faster. And the impact is really impressive, especially when the tasks are complex and using a lot of data. An example in research and development is requirements analysis, taking the requirements, the legal one combined with the technical one, which are quite complex. We reduce the workload of the engineers by 30% in most of the cases here. So we see that it has really a strong impact. And for the automotive industry, where the strengths the last decades was really to bring productivity, to bring to the market cars which are more and more equipped for a price which is always too high, but nevertheless still reasonable for the performance they bring. It was based on the productivity we made, but it was really focused on how we produce and on material. Now we bring productivity on the way we work on the complete company, including the administration and research and development, which makes sense because in the meantime we have more employees working outside the plants than inside the plant. So we see that AI is really everywhere for us.
Thank you, Jean-François. And Franck, Bonnay, you are Key Account Director for Automotive Sector at Google Cloud. And from a pretty impressive Google perspective, I would say, what is the biggest success metric from this initial transformation journey?
Yeah. Regarding the success metrics, maybe I would observe, how the pace and the pace of innovation. We are really at a stage where we are able to shortcut very quickly the innovation and to bring it as a product with a usage at scale. If you take an example over the last 2 years or 3 years, Gemini, in that time, we have been able to reach roughly 650 million users worldwide. We are seeing massive adoption, for example, of automotive vehicle through our subsidiary Waymo. Waymo today is something like 250,000 trips paid over 5-6 cities in US, and they are showing their scale toward roughly 10 over the 2026. Other example, maybe if we go back to more a company that are in the sector of automotive sector, we are seeing our AI platform called Vertex AI growing by 20 over 1 year. So the adoption for me is certainly the best case success metric we are seeing, and at the end it's also a question about use cases, how our customers are using it, and plenty of use cases to share for the automotive market. I wanted to highlight, for example, Mercedes. Mercedes has just released his new CLA, and they have integrated our technology for conversational navigation. Other example, kind of an example, by the way, I like also at Renault is you starting a long time ago, maybe before generative AI, is the way you use AI at your plant. Today you have more than 500 control points, and I know that there is a very, very aggressive roadmap to double in maybe a couple of years. So this is clearly a great example also for me to highlight. And also diversity of company that are in terms of size that are very scaling. I just want to take also the example of Flexis. Flexis is a new player in the domain of fleet management, and they will offer a kind of a new way to develop the last mile delivery in the city. They want to really revolutionize the urban logistic, and so they will develop their offer from an addition from AI from start. They're really integrating from start the idea that AI will support their offering.
Thank you very much. And now let's examine the next step. We talk about products, we talked about use cases and transformation, but we don't talk too much to the profound organizational impacts in your organization, how AI transform your own organization. And Pierre, how does AI transformation fundamentally differ from past digital transformation?
So of course, there is a lot of similarity, but nevertheless, there is some, I would say, strong difference. I will start maybe with the pace. It's going too fast today, so fast. You just need to have a look to the solution that are popping up a little bit everywhere. So I think the ability to just digest, integrate, and just test those solutions, this is showing you, a kind of difference between what we knew with the digitalization, where you had a little bit more time to select the right solution than to implement. So pace, I think, is the first one. Secondly, I think that digitalization was really focusing on the processes of the big company, trying to optimize the processes. Here it's more, the fact that with agentic you also can act on your ecosystem. This is also, I think, another fundamental change. The fact that now you are going to augment the people in order also to act within the ecosystem, which is, I think, also a big difference. For the partner, I think also it's what we are trying to reach with this kind of open ecosystem in order to be able to really have all the stakeholders of what we are trying to create in terms of value, meaning that the way we are going to interact with our technology partner, the way we are going to interact with our suppliers, it's like, having a kind of extended company. So this one is also a big one, meaning that you need now to think as a kind of ecosystem, maybe involving also other players. So this one also, it's a tricky one. And maybe the last one is really related to people, to change management. For me, this one is a big one. We don't know yet, what will be, I would say, the structure, the organization, the skills needed for the company. So you need also to be, I would say, aware and agile about it. But you need also to take time for the people to digest those technology and just to make those technology on in order to adapt the ecosystem. So human will be definitely at the heart, I would say, of this transformation.
The pace is the key word, I think. And Franck, how does agentic AI specifically enable this complete organizational rethink and transformation?
Maybe two elements of response regarding this question. The first one is maybe the example of Google. Initially AI was a kind of let's say secret sauce enablers we had in our offering. For example, when we were doing search, when we were using also YouTube, all the traditional Google services. But with the revolution of LLM and now the agentic, we have definitively, it has clearly changed, our organization. It has violently impacted our organization. No, AI is not anymore the enabler, is a clear purpose of somehow, the company. It's a product. It's what we sell. And this is where we are definitely focused. This is where we have reorganized all the engineering forces and research and development forces to really build these models and have the ability to infuse these new models everywhere in each product of the company. When we are talking about maps, we are talking about ads, we are talking about Waymo for automotive, but also for Google Cloud is clearly what we sell on every day, and it's what we are proposing because we want to help our customers, our partners to transform and become a kind of AI first company. And the second maybe element of testimony I would like to bring maybe on the table is a kind of conviction we are seeing that we are at the second stage of this AI revolution, which is agentic, so which is quite different of the generative one, where generative was more assistive. You were requesting something, ask a question, or produce a text or summarize an email. So it was really passive somehow. And we are definitely moving towards something which is autonomous. So in our vision, it's not a tools, it's not software tools. It's clearly a digital workforce that you need to consider as part of your team, and you need to define a mission. you need to give them a kind of suite of tools to activate. You need to review and to control what they are doing, to making sure that they are, let's say, respecting the mission you have done, and you are integrating them also inside of a bigger team. So we will talk about cohort of agents. I'm pretty sure from 2026. So, and the way employee in the company will need to work with. I think this is something we should really start to think about. And for sure, my point of view on that is that before to, let's say, impact the organization, it will for sure break the technological silos between the verticals you have in the company.
Thank you very much. And Jean-François, at the level of your workforces, of your engineer teams, do you see already some consequences of agentic AI?
Yes, and we do have challenges. I would mention two on top of what Franck and Pierre said. The first one, like every human facing a novelty, it's a challenge, especially when the novelty is questioning the way you work. And for this, besides communication and coaching, training, and so on, we put in place a structure to help to take out the silos with what we name AI Foundation in two parts. One is AI backend platforms, which also called LLM incubators, which enables the organization to use generative new generation AI solution for the engineers, and it's quite flexible. It provides solutions for simple case, but also complex, where we integrate a lot of tools for our development tool chain. It's agnostic, AI model agnostic, and also cloud agnostic, in order to be very flexible here. And we built the second part, which is a front-end platform, unified also here, which is really the usage for the final user, with different levels for the beginner to the advanced user. And with this, we ease adoption of AI, and we see more and more really enthusiasm to go for this. The second challenge, I would say, it has been also mentioned that we must make sure that our engineers always challenge and check the result, especially when we talk about safety topics or cybersecurity. And probably it's not too difficult today because our engineers have a background experience of developing these kind of products, so they naturally tend to challenge this or to question the result. But what about the new engineers coming out of the university, which will start with this? We must make sure that we keep them aware that they have to challenge and verify. Yeah.
And we have 5 minutes to divide and to talk about your vision. And we know, and we talked about that just 15 minutes ago, the rhythm, the pace, produce a difficulty to imagine what will be the future. But we need to talk about it. Franck, what, in your opinion, will be the big trends of agentic AI?
Yeah. Also, I will be very humble. I will not talk about the future in 10 years. Just sharing my thoughts regarding what we are seeing with just the new release of Gemini 3, and I really encourage you to test it, because it's really a breakthrough for sure. So what we're seeing, so multimodality, one of the key components that will continue. And as a matter of example, we presented at IAA in Munich in September the concept Astra, that is that has been integrated to our Android Auto solution. So the idea is really to for a vehicle, for Gemini, sorry, to digest the image, the video from the camera from the vehicle, and in order for you to interact with your vehicle that understands its environment. So this is clearly things that will arrive in couple of quarters, I think, or 1 year, 2 years maybe. Second element is that the reasoning capability. So agents are definitely more and more intelligent, and they are also integrating a long-term memory. So that means you will be able to create some personalization for kind of services, offering, or experience you want to offer to your customer. We are also integrating more collaboration, so it's what we call agentic. So agent will work together or will work with information system or partners like SAP, Salesforce. Our ServiceNow are integrating agent and in their solution, and we will be able really to help them to interoperate and exchange information and do actions. And maybe last things to share in terms of trend is the fact that we will have agent that will be multi-channel. So that means I can start an experience on my phone. I will certainly pursue it on my computer or on my vehicle. And this is the kind of trends we will see. So ecosystems of AI will emerge around that. And maybe just the last things to conclude, we will switch from something where we are, let's say, commanding something to more conversational experience with the agent.
And Jean-François, what is your own vision about this complex problem?
Yeah, I think the user experience in a vehicle is going to change a lot. So in the past, we expected a car to go from A to B, then to go from A to B with safely, and then in a comfortable way. But the big change is now for the full digitalization of the car, where the users expect the car being fully part of their digital world, which means part of the IoT. And then, let's make it simple, is not more the user who need to understand how works the car, but the car must understand or anticipate what needs the user. And we start to see this already with anticipating the destination, the way to charge or refuel, the way to the mood of the people into the car, and adapt the music, the lighting inside, displaying the appropriate content, or if the people are cold or warm, and adapting this. So it's changing completely the way we use the car, and the user experience. It's a real user experience with emotion, and if we would have time, we develop a lot of features which are really dealing with the emotion of the user at the end. So a big change here.
Thank you. And the final word is for you, Pierre. How will this whole transformation will deliver value in the end for the automotive industry?
No, I think this is exactly that. How we can capture the value on the whole, on the whole value chain. So first of all, let's be very best in class on what we do, meaning building car and manufacturing cars. So here there are a lot of opportunities. The know-how that we have, being also targeting to be best in class, is how you do a partnership in order to what we do with Aramco, Geely for combustion engine, what we do with Ampere for EV cars, what we do with Flexi for small logistic cars. So based on what we know and based on what we're good at, let's take I would say, let's capture the whole value of the value chain, and then focus on what's next, the full life cycle of the vehicle. So to me, you need to imagine a car that will be used for tens of millions of kilometers. That means that you will need also to deal with the whole value chain and whole life cycle, refurbishing the car, using, I would say, all the channels in order to make this car available to the user. So this one is the kind of North Stars, but being able, yes, to have a kind of very holistic view on both the value chain, but also on the full life cycle of the products and the services that you are going to put on top of it.
Thank you very much, and we can applaud you because it was very insightful, very interesting. Thank you very much.
Thank you.